Good day, gentlemen. I wanted to come out here again and film another one of these videos because I really realized this over the last 5.5 years in my relationship. A woman's test can make or break not just you, but your life. We see this with the positive examples, like for example Alex Hormozi, Jordan Peterson, Luke Belmar, Chris Bumstead, who all have had a great woman by their side when they weren't successful, and now they have reached success in many different ways of life, right? Success for me doesn't just mean monetary success, but success pretty much just means setting a goal or setting multiple goals and reaching them, right? And it doesn't matter what you think of these men. At the end of the day, what matters is what I just said. They have set goals for themselves and reached those goals, and they have not just reach not a lot of success in their life, but also fulfillment in their life. And I want to teach you why that is. Because if you are currently in a relationship and you're not making use of this, which sounds a bit harsh, but at the end of the day, you can really use this relationship not just for yourself, but also for the woman, to make that relationship with her better, to give her more love. And that will, in the end, also help you reach those goals that you've set for yourself. Here's why. A woman tests you. You might know this, right? You wouldn't have clicked on this video if you don't know this, right? The Red Pill calls it shit testing. I call it challenges, because it's not a test, it's a challenge. It's something that she gives you to grow, right? It's a challenge that she gives you, so you can take that challenge. As the guy who everyone quotes nowadays, David Deida, says, the masculine grows by challenge. So she gives you a challenge and that makes you grow. But not just that. The world is also feminine. There's a reason why we say Mother Earth. And the world will test the masculine inside of you a lot. And not just a lot more than your woman. At the end of the day, the feminine energy is life energy. And what your girl does by testing you, by giving you those challenges, by testing whatever you in whatever way that she does, is she prepares you for the challenges that the world has to give you in order for you to become the man that you want to become, right? People say this almost like on the side, but it's so crucial. Someone who has made $1 million, they didn't just make $1 million, they became the person who made $1 million. Chris Bumstead didn't just become Mr. Olympia, he became the guy. He developed the personality traits and the systems and the network to become Mr. Olympia. I think 5 times in a row now, right? And at the end of the day, your girl prepares you for those challenges. The challenges that she gives you, the tests that she gives you on a daily basis, they prepare you for the challenges of the world. You know, at the end of the day, the challenges of the world are a lot more harsh, and you might have already experienced this in the past. They are a lot more harsh than the challenges that you get from your woman, right? Your woman, yes, she tests you, and sometimes it's hard to overcome those tests. But at the end of the day, it's nothing compared to the challenges that the world is giving you. And one of my clients, he recently brought up a very interesting metaphor for someone who is in a relationship and conquers the challenges versus someone who isn't in a relationship. He said it's like a race, and like a marathon or something, or even longer than that, to be honest, like just a lifelong race. And the guy who isn't in a relationship, he doesn't have a backpack or any other weight, he's just as he is, just running, right? The guy who is in a relationship, he has a quite heavy backpack to carry. The thing is though, now you might think, yeah, of course, like at the start of that race, what happens, right? Yeah, the guy without the backpack, he's way faster. What happens though in the long term is, first of all, that guy without the backpack doesn't get as strong as the guy with the backpack. The guy without the backpack, like after a while, he doesn't grow anymore. There's no more challenge, there's no more progressive overload that he has, right? And so, at the end of the day, he's not going to be the better racer. If the other guy takes the backpack off, he's going to be way faster, right? But he doesn't take that backpack off. Why not? Because in that backpack, that resembles his relationship, resembles his woman, resembles his family, there's a why in there. A why to run for. The other guy doesn't have that. And so not only does your woman give you those challenges and help prepare you for those challenges of the world, she also gives you a very strong why to conquer those challenges. Most of the things that I do day to day, sure, I do them for myself, but I do a lot of stuff for my girl, not like in a simpy way, but she is my biggest motivation. And every heterosexual man who says that, oh, women don't motivate me, I do everything for myself, he's lying. And we know this. My girl is my biggest motivation. When I was single, the girls that I had a crush on were my biggest motivation. Let's be honest here, boys. Let's be honest. And so, what's interesting though is, both the world and your woman will only give you challenges that you are able to handle. What that means in the end is, every challenge that you get by life, it is really like progressive overload in the gym, right? You just get another challenge that you can handle, but that will make you grow. You never get something that is way too much for you. And in the short term, it's hard for us to see that. In the long term, we always come back to that realization, right? You know, a good example of this is something that also David Deida talks about. I don't remember in which book, to be honest, but he talks about seeing the humor of the current moment. That's a skill that we, as the more masculine partner in the relationship, should learn. And what he meant by that is, sometimes we get so upset by our women testing us that we can't see that it's actually just like a challenge, something that a gift from her, and that it's cute and funny that she acts in these ways. And reacting with humor, reacting from a place of freedom, right? If you can react to someone with humor, that is because you're free of any attachment to anything. Because you're able to just be present, be humorous. And that is something that my girl has tested me on, and still sometimes, honestly, often is testing me on. And now I'm able to overcome it, right? Now I'm able to react with humor in the current moment. And because she has taught me this, because she gave me those challenges, and I learned to do it, I'm now also able to react in that way when it comes to the world, right? When my business isn't going too well, there's something happening in the business where I'm like, this is fucked, and then 2 seconds later I'm like, you know, actually this is kind of funny, and this is something that will make me grow. Really looking at it from a free perspective, because that's what the masculine wants, right? The masculine always strives towards more freedom. Now, what I will quickly say here before giving you more advice is, if you're the kind of guy who is growth-minded and who can see these challenges, these tests as a positive thing, and who wants to grow through them, both for his relationship, to cultivate a deeper sense of love in that relationship, but also for the success he will seek in his life, if you're that kind of person and you want help on this journey, then you can always book a call with me. It's completely free, that first call, and we'll see how I can help you. Link in description. But anyway, what's really, really interesting here is those challenges, those tests, funnily enough, they always test your weak spots. And this is not a coincidence. You might have seen this in your own relationship happening, right? Maybe you're not as confident as, like in some parts of your relationship or yourself, you're not as confident as in other parts, right? And your girl will test exactly those parts. And you can think, oh, that's vicious and that's not good and that's not loving. At the end of the day, though, she just shows you where your weak spots are. Because oftentimes, man, we hide those weak spots from ourselves. We don't admit these weak spots to ourselves, and if we don't admit them, we can't grow, right? We can't conquer those weak spots. And so both your woman and the world will show you exactly your weak spots. Will show you like, hey brother, this is what you need to work on. For me in the past, what often happened is my girl really challenged me on my maturity, right? So many people nowadays, they say, oh, you're feminized and you're this and you're, yeah, and of course there are a lot of reasons to say that, right? With water, nutrition, all that kind of stuff, right? There's a lot of chemical bullshit out of there castrating you as a man, right? But at the end of the day, the society we live in, and by the way, this is again words from David Deida, the guy who everyone in this space takes advice from. He says society is extremely masculinized. Society is way too masculine for women to live in that society, and also men in this society have become too masculine in that way. The problem here is, and this is what is very interesting, is this is the way he means this, is what society has helped us to do, or has forced us to do, is become immaturely masculine. It's not mature masculinity what we're doing here. We're rather the we don't play the role of the king. We rather play the role of like the immature prince that gets everything, that gets all the accolades, but doesn't really have to take any responsibility, right? That's a good example right there. And one of a guy I met through some online community, and another entrepreneur has a company with like 20-25 employees. He recently told me something that was very, very interesting, which was, he told his friends 1 week, at the end of the week, he told his friends like, hey boys, this is where I want to take this company and this is where I want to take my life. And the next week, there was a huge struggle in his company, huge problem that he had to solve. And when he took a step back and looked at it objectively, he realized the world just gave me this challenge, because the world knows that I can't get to this level that I've set for myself, that I want to reach, both in my business and for my personal life, if I don't tackle this challenge in my business. I need to tackle this now, because if I wait longer, it's going to destroy this business. That is so interesting. The world exactly showed him like, hey, this is your weak spot. Work on this. If you don't improve this in your company will fail. That's so interesting, man. And that's how it goes all the time. Most likely, if you're still watching this video, you're the guy who watches, for example, the podcast Modern Wisdom, Chris Williamson, right? And you maybe have heard his quote where he says, the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. I don't think it's his quote, he quoted someone, but I don't know who the original quote was from. But the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Your woman and the world is showing you constantly which work you're avoiding. Be honest with yourself, right? We've all realized this at some point. We have something that we're like, yeah, I need to do this. And then we don't do it. And then 2 days later, we get another thing, another sign that we should do this. And again, we don't do it. And then a week later, we get a way bigger sign that we should do it. And then eventually, after 2 or 3 or maybe 100 signs, we finally do it. And what happens? We grow. We feel more free. We feel free of this constraint, this challenge. And at the end of the day, man, we just massively grow by that. And I talked in past videos about, for example, that video that I made, Why Love Makes Men Unstoppable. I talked about the fact that the feminine energy that you get from a woman, or not just the feminine energy, but in general, just what you get from a partner, the support, the rejuvenating energy, this again is then feminine energy. And there's so much more that you get through this relationship that will massively help you. But at the end of the day, man, a relationship especially just makes you comfortable with being uncomfortable. A relationship isn't comfortable all the time. Let's be honest, boys. And I'm not the kind of guy to say, if your relationship is going to shit, still stay in it and still do this and this and this. Like, if your relationship is at a point where you don't want to be in this relationship, where you don't love this woman anymore, where you have nothing to fight for, and where it doesn't make sense to stay in this relationship, then don't stay in it. I'm not telling anyone to stay in a relationship that long term isn't good for them. No. But what I'm saying is, a relationship that helps you grow can't be comfortable. At the end of the day, man, if your workouts in the gym would just be comfortable, you would never feel any pain, you would never feel any soreness the next day. And of course, soreness isn't needed for muscle growth. But at the end of the day, man, if your workouts were extremely comfortable, would you grow? No. After 2 months, you would stop growing, right? If you stopped working out right now and you didn't change the weights, you didn't increase the weights, you didn't increase the reps, you didn't increase the volume, man, you would still, just after 1 or 2 months, you would not make any progress anymore. Same thing is true in your relationship. So be grateful for those tests that she gives you, not just because she prepares you for the world, but because she helps you grow in so many ways, man. Once you start conquering your woman's tests, you start conquering the world. And man, I have seen this in so many cases, with myself, in books that I've read, with my clients. Once they start really improving their relationship, they also just grow massively by themselves and in their life. Suddenly challenges that before that point, they weren't able to conquer, now they're able to conquer. Same for me, man. I'll be completely honest. There's so many things that in my relationship where I'm like, man, I would not be where I am now if it wasn't for this 5.5-year relationship. No chance. So brother, if you're someone who is growth-minded, if you strive for excellence in every part of your life, health, wealth, and relationships, and much more, all the subparts of life, you're into biohacking, whatever it is, brother, but you don't really know how to take your relationship to that next level, where you have that deeper love, that thriving connection with her, that exciting sex life with her, but you want that, then what you can always do is you can book a call with me. That call is completely free, and in that call we will go over where you are at right now, where you want to go with your relationship, and then what's holding you back from getting there. And then if it sounds like we're a good fit for each other, I can tell you what I do and how I can help you. So brother, if you don't want to stay in a relationship that's just surviving, but you want your relationship to thrive because you have a higher standard for yourself and for your life, and you want to make this relationship amazing, not just for yourself, but for your woman and for your children or future children, then book that call with me right now. You have nothing to lose because it's entirely free. I'll see you in there. Have a good day. See you soon, man. Bye.